Now we would like to invite Mr. Sanjay Khimesara, who is the pioneer and trendsetter of the AVGC education with over 25 years of experience. He founded Horizon Institute of Design in 1997, which has already produced many creators. Over 28 graduates from his institute have credits on a dozen of Oscar and national award-winning films. He has been instrumental in providing a positive impact to 10 lakh plus individuals through several initiatives. Mr. Sanjay also volunteers for the artistic community as director and core committee member for ASIFA India and is the secretary for AVGC XR Media and Entertainment Association. Congratulations. Can we have a round of applause for him, please? Thank you.
Thank you so much, EduSpark. Thank you so much, AnimationXpress, Mr. Vanwari and entire team. And my principals are also here. So thank you, APTEC. Thank you all the partners, all the industry people in particular. And big thanks to students for, because of them, we are all standing here. Thank you.
We have the next session. It's a panel discussion and it's based on reshaping India's university education. For the same, I would like to call upon the speakers on stage. Mr. Mohit Soni, CEO, Media and Entertainment Skills Council. Can I please have a round of applause for them? Thank you. Dr. Manju Rugwani, Head of the School and Professor Ajinkya D.Y. Patil University School of Film and Media. Mr. Sanjay Khimesara, Business Partner, Arena Animation, Geeta Bhawan, Indore, Core Committee Member of ASIFA India, Founder of Horizon Institute of Design. Dr. Ankit Jain, Assistant Professor, School of Design, Dr. Vishwanath Karad, MIT World Peace University. Ms. Kiran Sippy, Managing Director, Ramesh Sippy Academy of Cinema and Entertainment, and Director of Ramesh Sippy Entertainment Private Limited. Ms. Radha Ambekar, Principal, LS Raheja School of Art, Worli. Mr. Vipul Saluja, Vice Principal and Head, Department of Computer Science, R&D and SH National College. Mr. Jigesh Gajjar, Head of VFX, DNEG India. The session will be moderated by Mr. Ashish Kulkarni, founder of Muneryug Art Vision and chairman of AVGC Forum FICCI. Over to you, sir.
A very good evening, all of you. What a great session we had, on catching them young. While we catch them young, they also have to have a pathway into the universities. And as we move forward, I think it's critical for us to know, and that was the last question that was there from the last panel. Sorry, I couldn't answer that question at that point in time because we had only one question. But it's not about loading the students in the school with added courses, but allowing them to pick and choose the courses that they want. And that's going to be the change. So they're not been loaded, but they'll be allowed to choose programs which they have not been allowed to do at this point in time. So like, as I said in the morning, if you want to go to the engineering, you need to do PCM. If you want to go to medical, you need to do PCB. There would be a pathway that would happen into the university post national education policy, that we would be actually having a pathway coming right from the early primary school onwards and specialized credits from the 6th grade onwards, whereby people will find their pathway to get into the creative programs and also into the gaming programs and the techno-creative programs that we call. So moving forward, we have a very interesting panel. We have Mr. Sanjay Khimesara from Indore, right on the right side. Please give him a big round of applause. He has been to education since last 25 years and have churned out large number of students who have gone into all kind of multinationals all over the world from a city called Indore. We have Mohit Soni. He's the CEO of Media and Entertainment Skill Council, actually has been responsible for penetrating all media and entertainment programs to the smallest village and town across India with the state programs and the national programs. Then we have Dr. Manju. She's come from Pune. She's from Ajinkya D.Y. Patil, and she actually is running a very interesting program in animation, and we will talk more about that. We have Dr. Ankit Jain, who is also from Pune, and I think you have got a lot of students from Pune here to cheer you up. And they have a very interesting design programs, and we are going to see how they can help the AVGC industry at large. We have Kiran CP Madam, who is the Managing Director of Ramesh CP Academy of Cinema and Entertainment, where they run a program in Mumbai University at the Kalina campus. And I don't need to introduce her, you see her on television and films all the time. We have Jikesh Jagar, he's head of VFX, and we're going to really have an insight from him because that's one of the industry that is exponentially growing, and not a single film today can be completed without touching the film with VFX. We have Radha Ambekar Madam. She's a principal of Raheja School of Arts. They have very interesting art programs for a number of years, but then we need to push them that when they're teaching kids to make a great caricature, and the science of animation is moving that caricature in the right proportion with the right perspective. How can we actually get that? And then we have Mr. Vipul Saluja. He's a vice principal of computer science, vice principal at National College and into the Department of Computer Science. So we have a very elite panel. So what we're going to do over the next 46 minutes is going to see what's going to be reshaping Indian university education, because so far we knew that arts in university always meant either literature or economics. And when it comes to creative arts, performing arts, design, these were things which were lacking. There were only a handful of people who were doing it. And the industry actually grew on its own by actually people learning on the job. And how now we can actually use the national education policy in reshaping the university education. No sooner we have the task force that has been created by Indian government on animation, gaming, visual effects and comics, which was our demand for the last so many years. And now that we are actually having a task to create a national AVGC policy for this country, we are also going to look at a major focus that has been given to skilling and education at the same time. My question to Sanjay ji, in fact, you have been at the forefront of supplying a huge, base at the bottom of the pyramid, and your students have grown up the path, and there's definitely that you did many things right so that the student could find their, upgradation of skills, and they could actually grow into the marketplace and become very successful. What do you think in the last 25 years has changed into the industry? And being so much into, doing programs which were predominantly short-term, how do you think the change has come, and what's your recommendation to the university? What are the 3 things that they should remember with your experience that you have in animation and visual effects training that university should consider?
Thank you, Ashish ji. First of all, I'll say heads off to AnimationXpress team for having this grand celebration. This education summit itself is a right step towards creating next level of India. And this kind of things were not there 25 years back. One major thing which was not there was awareness, which has slowly been emerging. And since this sector is a highly employable sector where student can even do freelance, can do job, become self-employed. So that is where this segment is having so much focus now. And because of your efforts, governments are also listening. And if we take the right steps forward, things will definitely get into a grand shape. And India could definitely become a superpower in this. My experience says that one major thing which is required for a student is internship. So, which from an informal sector, we have been slowly moving towards a formal sector. So, earlier there were only institutes, NID was the only organization, and over last 2 decades, almost hundreds of design universities and colleges have come. There was one major question in the morning when you were there. There is a middle and lower middle income group. So institutes will always cater to those people, those strata, and then there is a high and higher income group. There, most of the college, because education has to be equally affordable. So that is one major challenge which our industry is facing, how to make it more affordable. Second thing is, because foundation is one of the very, very important thing. See, there is a upgradation which is a ongoing process. Student can always pick up over a period of time. We have seen a tremendous success in terms of internship, in terms of having incubation and innovation cell, because there is a lot of creative thought process required at the studentship level. Because if they get exposure to the industry, they get exposure to the competitions, they get exposure to the real world, and how we can connect between industry and academia, because ultimate aim of any student is to get into the industry. Now, why NAP has come is only because the basic education system has somewhere not been able to give what was expected. And that is where NEP has come. And now if we are able to utilize it, because in India one biggest problem is we do a lot of plannings, but unless that is implemented equally well, the things will not change and we may not become. So my only thing is, whatever we plan, that is a great thing, but that should go into the grassroots level. And internships and incubation, these are two major things which I will say we should focus upon. And one major factor which a lot of organizations which are in the institute level, they face is like those programs where qualifications are also required with skills. There is no proper regulatory available there. So these are my observations.
Yeah, so the qualification framework we talked about would actually look at that regulation in many ways if you adopt it in a proper way. But great suggestion that actually the industry academia relationship should happen so that it encourages people to go for internships. And there is a huge apprentice program that has also been run in the skilling side, and the startup ecosystem. Standalone institute here where we have BA and a BSc program in animation, but people who have taken science will go to BSc, people who have taken arts and commerce go to BA, but they all sit in the same classroom for all 3 years and do the same program, but they get different degrees. So Sanjay ji, the issue is, there is a huge talk about how to implement this in the industry, in the schools. But if we have to go to the schools, people are making a huge mistake. And because you are so deeply rooted into this area, my question to you is, why should one go to schools with animation, visual effects, and gaming programs? Because that's not relevant. You need to have a step-up approach. So yeah. What's your thought about this?
My thought is, instead of teaching animation and visual effects at the school level, we should look towards foundation contents at the school level, because that is where the we will have better people coming out of the schools who could be even groomed further as artists. Even technical skills are required that could be inculcated. even the further skills are required in terms of honing the creativity, that could be done. But fine tuning can be done later, but the basic structuring should be done at the elementary level, and instead of 6, my suggestion will be that introducing this right from the earlier stages. So MESC has world skill related initiatives. So if the children world skill related initiatives are there, I think mapping them with the schools, and because the younger the kid, the more the creativity. So if we develop that right from the early stages, it will be amazing.
Our industry was very unorganized. We are just getting to get ourselves organized. And at Media and Entertainment Skill Council, we have actually put in something called as a MECAT, Media and Entertainment Creative Aptitude Test, which is going to be launched within a month's time. My question to each one of you is, whether a launching of our Media and Entertainment Creative Aptitude Test called MECAT would make a difference for positioning your program and attracting right kind of candidates and filtering out the right candidates to become a part of our industry. Right from Sanjay, let's one sentence answers from each one of you.
Yes, definitely it will be a great booster because any entry barrier is always a welcome step, but it has to be properly propagated also, and it should be very strongly put up as a unified test. Yeah, a lot of industry connect is required, because if you have to have more placements, then one is you should bring companies to the campus, and that is where, and definitely you'll have to match the skills required from the employer. So that is where your upskilling will definitely begin. So that is my answer.
Yeah, thank you so much all the panelists, and thank you all the audience, and thanks the great team at Animation Express. My request to Anil and Prerna and Neha, next time you put this kind of a session, you need to have at least 2 hours session, because we have only covered the first part. The faculty identification, the faculty training is just not been covered because we don't have time. But next time you have 2 hours session, we would definitely have a great discussion. But big thank you to all of you for being patiently listening to all our speakers and their views. But let me tell you, the formal education in India and the informal education as well is equally gearing up, and both of them would be equally good for you to bank your credits and still make a degree, or still make your education relevant for upgradation of your skills and to get your jobs and to build your career. And that's what we would work towards from the industry side. And I think this is a great beginning after the pandemic that we are discussing this, because this is the first time that we are having a face-to-face discussion on national education policy and its implementation, and the way universities would accept it and the schools would accept it. And this will actually give us the best stepping stone for allowing our kids to make a formal career into creative arts, performing arts, design, and specialize into animation, gaming, visual effects, and filmmaking. And with that, I would actually like to hand it over to the team. We have taken 10 minutes extra. Extremely sorry about that, but this was required. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, panelists. It was really interesting to see you all brainstorm how to offer the state-of-the-art training to all the students here, so that they are ready to join the industry and learn to do things differently and grasp new softwares. I would now like to request Mr. Anil Vanwari to come on stage back again and present a token of appreciation to our esteemed panelists. A big round of applause for all of them.
My name is Sanjay Khimesara, and I am from Indore Indore is a tier 2 city, and I on Horizon Institute of Design, and I'm also director at ASIFA India, which is one of the leading UNESCO supported NGO in India.
How has been the experience, like, since it's an on-ground event and you could meet your friends and also the students on ground?
This has been an amazing experience, and this was something which was not anticipated. The kind of crowd which has come is amazing. Actually, the students' crowd was really enthusiastic, and they learnt a lot in today's time. And beyond that, like the efforts of Animation Express for this particular event and all the previous events, I have seen 3-4 events, this has been commendable. Like the team is really charged. I knew Animation Express long when I was there in this NESCOM Summit 2003. That time also Anand Gurnani used to represent Animation Express. But Animation Express has come a long way from there. And today, like whatever efforts this industry is doing, and all of them are registered to the people through Animation Express, which itself speaks so much about.